Hello, I am Adam Cobb. I am representing Turner Farm today, a working organic farm with an emphasis on nutrition and education located in Cincinnati, Ohio. We are going to show you how to cook a very simple Mediterranean-inspired dish of salmon and cauliflower. First step for the salmon, I've left the skin on. This is totally personal preference. If you want to take the skin off, that's fine. And if you're getting fish from a grocery store, you can oftentimes ask your fishmonger to just take the skin off. To get a good sear on anything, especially fish, the skin or the surface needs to be very dry. So that's a really important note. So what we're going to do is just really simply salt and pepper on both sides of the salmon fillet. Meanwhile, I've got a pan on roughly medium-high heat. If you're cooking skin on, it's good to have the heat a little bit lower. If it's too hot, the skin wants to curl up and becomes hard to get even browning. Avocado oil is nice in this case because it has a higher smoke point, so we don't have to worry about the olive oil burning. At this point, I think we're in pretty good shape. So we're gonna go skin side down. And we're looking for roughly 3 to 4 minutes probably on the skin side before we flip it. There's a couple different techniques with fish cooking. Lots of times in restaurants, they'll start it on the skin side, they'll maybe flip it and finish it in a hot oven. That's certainly a method you can do. The great thing about salmon is you can actually cook it a little under. A lot of people prefer it medium, rare, medium. You can certainly cook it through and it'll still be very moist. Salmon is a fantastic option really because of the omega-3 benefits. Great for cardiovascular and brain health. So at this point, the salmon's been cooking for 3 to 4 minutes, possibly as much as 5, depending on how thick the fillet is. We're gonna go ahead and flip the skin to the non-presentation side to finish the cooking process. Hopefully, if we've done our job right, the skin is nice and crispy. At this point, we're going to reduce the heat down to a medium or so. We're gonna let the fish continue to cook low and slow for about 3 to 4 minutes. The other part of this dish would be the cauliflower component. So this is good to start the salmon first. We can kind of push this to the side, let that keep cooking while we start the cauliflower process. I want to show you real quick how to cut this. The only thing you want to make sure you do is cut down the core. And the reason for doing this is it's going to keep the actual floret intact. So I've got a chef's knife here. I'm going to try to cut it right down the middle through the core. You can see we've cut through the core there. At this point, we're going to kind of do that one more time, essentially quarter it. So we'll go through the core of the cauliflower again. So this is more of a bite size. If you kind of just put your knife through the core, it should naturally split. And that way, again, you're keeping the floret intact during the cooking process. Got a medium-high heat pan on the heat. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of avocado oil again just because it has a higher smoke point. I'm going to try to drop it on the flat side if possible, just to get some nice even color. I'm also not going to season it quite yet. The salt could draw out some moisture and kind of prevent the caramelization process. So I'm going to wait a few minutes until we have some color to season it. The cauliflower at this point has been seared nicely on one side. We'll go ahead and give it a toss to see some of the nice caramelization that we've achieved already. This is going to give flavor and some nice added texture to the cauliflower. So we're going to add some capers. These are just some wild brine capers to the pan. They may pop a little bit if they have some water content, that's fine. And then these are raisins. You could use currants. I've actually kind of slightly pickled these, which sounds complicated, but I've literally just added cherry vinegar, raw honey, and water in equal proportions. You can totally eliminate this if you don't like spice. This is just red chili flake, make it a little more interesting. We have red chili flake, and then we have garlic, Godfather style, sliced very thinly. You could use a microplane as well. We'll give this a little bit of a toss. We just want to toast the garlic. We don't want to brown the garlic necessarily too much. A light color is okay, but we don't want to make it dark and bitter. So we're going to add about 1/8 of a cup or so of white wine. This is really going to help steam the cauliflower, so we'll add a lid at this point. We'll give it 2 to 3 minutes. Again, this is all ideally while your salmon is resting, so this meal is coming together really quickly. So we are ready to plate at this point. I like to garnish the cauliflower with a few last minute things. I have some parsley, fresh chopped parsley, but again, totally up to you, whatever you'd like to add. I do a little bit of lemon juice for acidity. And then I think it's nice to add a little bit of lemon zest as well. So we'll go back to our zester. If you still have a little garlic on your zester, no need to wash it. That's not gonna hurt anything. A little bit of zest on the cauliflower. This has taken roughly 30 minutes or so. These are all easily accessible ingredients, and hopefully we've showed you how you can put together a healthy, nutritious Mediterranean diet at home.